new developments have always affected human behavior, right? Invention of airplanes, they made the world very small. Invention of the internet, it democratized how we access knowledge. So what do you think AI is going to do in the next 5 to 10 years that's going to change our behavior and our psychological structure?
Democratization, Romeo, means to make something available that was rare or very expensive en masse for everyone, right? And you mentioned a couple of democratization, right? So I really like this trajectory of democratizing things, so disrupting the status quo and bringing an ubiquity into something that was rare to human being, right? So, the printing press brought truly the democratization of knowledge, right? And we had the writers back then that were writing, right, or making available energy through the power access. It democratized truly utility, if you so want, right? And a series of new industries were born around it, right? Or the famous, let's say, 1900 change from horses to cars, where we democratized truly mobility, and with mobility, a new set of industries were creating around it. So the point I want to make here before answering your question is that every time that we talk about democratization, there is a disruption and a huge opportunity. And in the disruption, there is the current target audience, meaning the target audience that right now lives the status quo. So, the one who are riding the horses and are going to work, are going they're using the horse to do their groceries. Okay, they are being disrupted, and the challenges in their mind, because they are used to it, because the getting used to something, meaning being in a comfort zone. And human being loves to be in a comfort zone, because us human beings in our body, we don't want to really have efforts, because efforts equal energy, and when I spend energy, right, I have basically really a consumption and a draining of my actually body and my mind, and I don't want to do that, right? So I want to be in my comfort zone. And democratization actually leads me in this change to unlearn, I repeat, to unlearn what I'm doing right now, and to learn something new. And when I say to learn, means to be open, meaning to accept, meaning to explore, meaning to be just aware of there is something new, but not knowing where I'm going. Now, with AI, we are democratizing intelligence. 3, 2, 1. And the other, this calls the rhetorical pause, because this really needs to impregnate in our brain. I, Tommaso, have accepted the last 2 years, and you, listener, can do whatever you think it's correct, that I'm no longer intelligent. And because I've accepted that, I'm basically already seeking what is my advantage, my position, my value that I'm adding into this life. And what is it? It's actually my senses, because we are human beings. It's how we smell. It's how we look at things. It's how we listen. It's the taste that we have. It's the touch, right? Because we are human beings, right? So meaning that artificial intelligence is now faster, smarter, and ongoing. And so no human being can hold on to that. And therefore, human being is now reoriented, is redesigning their approach on how they are working, living, socializing, because wherever they applied actually intelligence, Romeo, now no longer is that form of intelligence sufficient for what they were applying for. Do you follow? Now, the point here that I'm making is that we human being, and the huge differentiation that we have as human being, is truly the experiences that we feel through our senses, where machines will never be in that situation, even though you will have a lot of data, and data can convert into some form of understanding. You will never be emotionally actually in the situation of truly sensing, feeling what we feel as human beings. On the other hand, the big danger that is existing right now, and we are creating here as Digital a huge awareness, is that, what once we called this, social isolation. And for those who follow our narrative have been seeing that we have been doubling down on it. For those who have maybe just tuned in now, social isolation is the phenomenon of you being surrounded by others, right? But actually feeling alone, right? And in order to fill that void, you go into a lot of doom scrolling and a lot of gaming, 20, 40 hours, especially this Generation Z and Generation Alpha. That is actually nothing compared to what is about to happen, which moves from social isolation and now goes into an order of magnitude way bigger, and it's social atrophy. Atrophy is usually used in the medicine when your body, when your muscle, right, they cannot move even though you are basically, you have them, you are in that body. Atrophy means that you cannot react to something and you lose the ability to do something because something freezes. Social atrophy means that you are there in your body, but because you're interacting a lot with AI, and AI is saying, hey, Tommaso, how are you doing? And you are great. And what do you think about that? So more intelligent and knows how to guide you, it becomes your trusted advisor. Statistically show that the second most used form of artificial intelligence today on the consumer level is actually to have companionship, right? Because human being is always seeking to bounce off ideas and emotions, right? And it starts feeling understood. I'm talking here about Gen Z and Gen Alpha, right? Now we are not longer just doing our homeworks with it. We are asking advice. We are asking how we built something. We are asking, and that is limiting what previously was actually forcing human being to grow, to educate, to go the extra mile, to actually create friction within you. And when you have friction, you unleash energy. When you unleash energy, you basically, become better, right? And that's, the challenges of life make you better. So we are looking towards a future, unfortunately, fortunately, where human being becomes more and more passive because we are getting served in a way that it's no longer just serving us, it's replacing us,
Right.
unfortunately, in many cases, right? And that is creating this social atrophy. The ability to say, no, Romeo, I don't want to talk to you in person because I have my book. I get what I'm seeking. My emotions, my responses, my guidance, right? Now, in order to break that, in order to avoid that, in order
Yeah.
to
So
us as
before you,
human,
yeah,
yep, go
before you
ahead, Romeo.
continue, let me just do so that I understand the point. So we are essentially relinquishing control of ourselves. Now, obviously, like computer, the internet, all of the development of the last 20 years, we have limited our requirement to actually go outside and do stuff. Like because like your grocery comes to your home delivered. Like you don't have to do any research. You can just basically open the Google and see where everything is. So the physical requirement was already out. The only thing that we were doing was thinking, and we are now slowly outsourcing thinking to some AI models. And obviously, that is something that I have been noticing in my behaviors. For example, like even for simple tasks, I don't bother going to a website. I just ask like ChatGPT or Grok, and it gives me the answer, and I know right then and there like this is what needs to happen. But like if I slowly stop thinking about it, stop analyzing, stop doing critical thinking, it's obviously I'm completely going to be AI dependent, and that's a scary reality to live in.
You're pointing out one scenario that I actually want to double click on and piggyback upon, which is the fact of outsourcing or outtasking intelligence. For as long as we outtask only one segment, it is okay if we keep on using our brain cell for other segments, right? For those who I mean, you know that Romeo, I was blessed in my life to learn the one or the other language, and I truly leaned into that and made it my passion of my life, right? So I'm fluent in a series of languages, and then I have a certain 20-30% of vocabulary in other language, which reach already altogether almost 10 of those between the one that I'm fluent in and the one that I have only a basic 20-30% vocabulary. But that, meaning language learning, did not define Tommaso. The language learning activated something in that specific human being that was a fast-paced, right, way of thinking that then was applied in other sectors. And for sure, my language learning was one of the DNA or the ingredient that defined my entrepreneurial life. And then my entrepreneurial life and the challenges that were faced, right, defined the way that I do sports. So it is all intertwined. So as soon as we out task only one thing, and we say, no, we do the homework here. Well, it kills all the other because it becomes a chain reaction, right? And that chain reaction is very dangerous, because if we now also put on the radar, and I don't want to be negative, I want to actually here shake us all up, and there is a solution, right? We put on now on the radar that, and you mentioned that we human being now don't want to continue to seek more and more help for ubiquitous or boring stuff every day. You know, who wants to do laundry? Who wants to go shopping? Who wants to iron? Who wants to clean? Who wants to drive? Right? I mean, the biggest, most stupid time loss we have is drive. Okay, now robots come into play, right? So the robot
Right.
will now, with the so within the robot, the soul, the mind of the robot is the artificial intelligence. So you have an intelligence and the action behind it, take action, and that puts you actually away. I'm at the point where I'm truly saying to human beings, right, that first of all, obviously, we need just to accept the fact that this is reality, guys. If this is a reality, this is here, right? Just saying, oh, it won't happen. No, 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 no. This is here. And by the way, it is beneficial. Now, the same destruction happened in the 1900s to the agricultures. In the 1900s, the agriculture was the one who were, putting their strength and were having doing the hard work with the labor, with the hand, and they were the rich people because they owned land, they owned the animals, right? They had access to food and then distribution, right? And then they were democratized through machines, right? And then we got into this era where we were thinking that the white collar equal association with, smart people, smart equal intelligent, intelligent now being democratized. Now we are, well, the one who have the white collar, I don't, right? We are this now the being democratized. So we are now the agricultures, right? So now moving away into that, we need to be very conscious as human being and put truly efforts, right, in what makes us human being and how can we treat continuously and consciously as a society treat or position or build AI that serves us and doesn't replace us. I like a good word that I like to use for AI is AI must be our concierge. The concierge that stands there
Yes.
and
Yeah.
understands and observes you, right? That it's a beautiful scene. Concierges of highly respected, I highly respect everyone who works, right? A highly respected person because it's not intrusive, right? But it's there. It looks at you and then looks at the watch and say, oh, it's 11:45. Tommaso stands in front of the door. Maybe he's hungry. Hey, Tommaso, I know that you like your pizzas. I need to mention pizzas every single episode. Hey, there is a good pizzeria. They do Napolitan dough. By the way, it's 5 minutes down the road. Please. So that's a concierge. That is the model that we have basically to build first. And then the
Right.
second model
Yes.
that we have to build is the fact that we as human being need to proactively meaning truly being conscious and take action on things that right now we are most likely going to lose, which is we need to put effort in going outdoor rather than having things that come to us at home. Number one, outdoor. Now, we don't want to lose or get rid of the benefits of the digital. So it's outdoor and physical. So the outdoor world, right? Now we consciously need to approach it or need to be guided consciously and have the benefit of it, physical, digital, right? The second thing is because we are falling in love with AI, because it's taking care of us. It's going to be embodied by beautiful robots. We need to be conscious and say, no, wait a second. No AI friends. Hashtag no AI friends. This is our movement. Yeah, at Fidgetal, right? So meaning,
Yeah.
yeah, AI by concierge, it's not your friend. It's at service, right? So
Exactly.
no AI friends. What does it mean? I consciously know that I need to be in a group. So first thing again, outside, right? And the benefits of the digital. The second thing is in a group, right? So you need to be with people. You need to hang out with people, right? And the third thing is we need to leverage what Mother Earth or destiny or God, whatever you believe in, right, gives us, which is the creativity. right? Because that is what we have, right? And that makes us human being. And this is exactly what we do at Phygital Romeo, right? We are guiding human being, especially Gen Z and Gen Alpha, to understand the importance of be outside and have the benefit of the digital, be in a group, not in a no AI friends, be in a group, do things with in a group, and be very creative.
Yeah, that is a fascinating vision. And I just want to point out one thing is that many people listening to this think, oh, like, well, that kind of scenario is years and years away. But the truth is, it's not. Like, we are looking hardly 2 to 5 years by when we'll be pretty much outsourcing everything to AI, including our thinking. And that's a scary reality, as I said. So yeah, this kind of tool needs to be a reality in the next couple of years, and which is exactly what we are building.
Well, it's like planting a seed, right, Romeo? When you plant a seed, right, and it's subsoil, okay, it wouldn't do justice to say there is nothing there, right? If you go there in a couple of weeks, well, but it's small. Well, in a couple of years, then it gives you fruit, and if it gives you fruit, it nourishes you, right? So it's not about when you see things, guys, right out there, right? It is right now already happening. Greetings from Silicon Valley, right? So it is here, right? So the wake up call for all of us. Well, but what does it mean? First, unlearn what you know. Oh, but Tommaso, I don't want to do it. Well, okay, then you're going to be shifted into a category that decided not to proactively change, right? And the smartest people are not the one who have intelligence, but the one who are truly flexible enough to take action and adjust to what is new. And the new is already new today, right? Then secondly, to understand and observe very clearly what is it going to be helping us. I'm not saying, hey, we are building AI ourselves, right? But to a point where it's the concierge of the human being, understanding that the agriculture, 3, 2, 1. No, I'm not an agriculture. Yes, you are, right? You don't think you are intelligent. You are no longer intelligent. I'm no longer intelligent, right? That's not replaceable because the way that I look at the animals, the way that I plant the plants, the way that no, we are right now being replaced with our intelligence. So good morning, right? So you, the agriculture, and I'm talking to us, white the collars, right? We no longer are intelligence because we're too small. We don't too slow. We are not processing data fast enough, right? And we don't work 24 hours, right? Are now being readjusted, are now being replaced in many situations. Now we need to work with AI, and you will lose your space if you don't work with AI, okay? And be consciously aware of what makes you a human being, and therefore that is what makes you unique, right? And what makes you unique is now no longer being in front of a screen because we have done it the last 30 years, right? But now the new Canva, attention, do I have your attention? The new canvas is this physical world because that is now an unexplored place. And the reason why it's unexplored is because AI doesn't struggle in a screen. AI masters screens. Wow, what did you say? AI dominates screens because data output, and then it visualizes on screen. What AI does not dominate is two areas. It's physical world and DNAs. It doesn't dominate that, right? And so we are the one who now are in the physical world creating new experiences with the support, with the help of AI, and having our human being advantages of our senses, how we feel, right? And creating a position, a new world where we coexist and create through this coexistence new business model, new physical digital business model, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. As always, Tommaso, it's a fascinating topic that we are digging into, and hopefully, we'll have more and more discussion and more in-depth conversation around this topic as we build and we get closer to the actual platform of Vyry. So, as always, thank you. We'll see you next week.
I see you next week. And for those who are interested in this topic, join the movement. No AI friends for Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Focused right now in United States, Vyry.world. Download the app or register for a closed beta access, right? Only for students right now. This is not technology for the sake of doing technology, but it's truly technology for the sake of rescuing humanity, and we do it together. We're not building it just for the next generation, but with the next generation. So come and discover the unseen and create the unimaginable. Thank you so much, Romeo, as always.
Absolutely. Join Vyry.world. The link will be in the description. So yeah, see you there. Bye bye.
Bye.